In this new season, as Stephen F. Austin's Lumberjacks have come west to the Big Country to take on the Abilene Christian University Wildcats. This is UAC football on ESPN. Hi everyone, Grant Boone alongside our QB1, Jim Reese. A rivalry that goes back more than 50 years. Jim, you were a part of it, ACU and SFA.
Goes back to 1973, and Wilbert Montgomery and a couple of pro players and a great high-scoring game, and now it gets to this era with local fans believing this is a true rivalry, and maybe the players not as much aware of the history. Well,
the coaches certainly know about it, and we'll tell you about that as we go along here tonight. Let's talk about the quarterbacks for each team. Stephen F. Austin brings in Sam Vidlac, a preseason All-America coach.
Yeah, he's a classic drop-back passer. Does not like to scramble when he throws the ball down the field. He's very accurate, so really, really talented.
Stone Earl comes back to where he began his college career here in Abilene.
Stone is kind of a throwback to a running quarterback, an operator. Had quarterback draws and counters that he ran as part of the running game. He'll need to work on maybe getting the ball down the field.
For more on Stone Earl, let's meet the third member of our broadcast team, Daisy Strime.
Thanks, guys. Stone Earl back at QB1 for the Wildcats today. The last time we saw him in this position was in 2021, the homecoming game against Lamar, where he started in the first 7 games of that season as a redshirt freshman. He threw for over 1,200 yards at a 65% completion rate in just 7 games. You'll notice he's wearing number 4 this season, whereas he used to be number 3. We asked him the reason for that change, and it's because he's focusing on where his feet are now, not looking back to the past. He's ready to focus on another potential championship run for the Wildcats. Guys, over to you.
Daisy, thank you. And, well, a lot has changed besides the number. And here we go as ACU welcomes in their old friends from Nacogdoches on, Jim, what I think could only be described as a perfect night for football.
It's a perfect night. ACU needs to catch up on this rivalry. Stephen F. Austin has won 8 of the last 10, so this is going to be interesting.
Temperatures in the mid-70s all day long after a heat wave. Sent the temps north of 100 earlier this week. Jacob Hand is going to kick it off. New kickers, both teams, and Hand starts off this 27th meeting between the two teams, and a fair catch is called for by Radrian Baltrop. And Abilene Christian gets first crack at it here. Stone Earl, as you heard Daisy say, last time he left this field as a player, it was not under his own power. Injured in that game against Lamar back in 2021. He went to University of North Texas. A couple of years, Marshall last year, and coach, here he is back for the school where he started.
Yeah, I've been to 4 schools in 5 years, and see how he does this first drive.
Both teams coming off losses on the road at FBS teams. Stephen F. was shut out by University of Houston, 27-0, and Abilene Christian lost at Tulsa, 35-7, with Earl scoring the only touchdown in the 4th quarter. Jordan Vaughn is the tailback. 4-man front for Stephen F. And Earl is going to chuck it. And it's knocked away, intended for Javon Gibson. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Just a delay route. Quarterback was lucky that he had time to throw, had about 6 seconds. Good job by that offensive line.
He was sacked 5 times. Now we have a penalty. Jeremy Tate, our official referee tonight. All right, so it's going to be, instead of 2nd and 10, a 1st and 20. ACU penalized just 3 times last week in the loss at Tulsa. And it's going to be a give to Vaughn, and he is going to have about 4. 2nd down and 16 coming up. Vaughn has been productive. His problem has been staying on the field. And he'll pick up 4 there. And ACU has a 2nd and long. Hard enough against perennially one of the best defenses in the FCS when you only go the 10. Quick throw, caught by J.J. Henry, and that's really good tackling, coach, by one of the captains for Stephen F. Austin, Cameron Reddick.
Yeah, good job of coming up quickly. Quick screen to the right, did not block. Outside receivers missed the block on the corner, and outside linebacker.
Be interesting tonight to see if either team can make chunk plays. Neither really had any until late in the game last week. Third down now, and almost 15. Got to get it out to their own 35-yard line. First possession of the game. Earl has time. He's a good runner. Is he good enough to get a first? Knifes across the 30, but it's going to be short, and that holding penalty on first down ultimately thwarts the drive, and here comes the punt team for ACU.
Scramble for 10 yards, got a little bit back, but not enough.
And Hugo Nash is out to punt for Abilene Christian. He was the holder on kicks last year. Stephen F. blocked a punt in their 32-19 victory against ACU in Nacogdoches at the end of last year. That one turns over beautifully. It won't count. And it's the second flag thrown.
False start. Offense. No 11 players were set prior to the snap.
All right, false start against ACU. So 3 penalties in 60 minutes last week and 2 in the first less than 2. Coach Patterson was proud of the fact that there were no pre or post snap penalties last week. Gets one here, and Nash will try to recreate that great boot he had a moment ago. This one's not as good, and it is returnable, and it's going to go out of bounds inside the 40 of Stephen F. Bugs Mortimer lets it go out of bounds. Sam Vidlak mentioned it. He's a preseason All-America candidate. Player who came to Stephen F. last year, and until, Coach, he got hurt in the 7th game of this, or with 3 games to go, he was on track to have one of the great seasons in SFA history. Still was. He was 3rd in the nation in passing efficiency.
Preseason All-American and just a great thrower.
And you see, 13 of 27. There wasn't a lot of offense for SFA against a really good Houston team last week. Just 144 yards. It's a handoff, and kicking it to the outside and breaking a tackle. It's a good start for Jalen Jenkins, who gets up a little gimpy.
Ran the scat, got about 6 yards out of nothing.
These are our starting lineups, brought to you by LMB Real Estate. 2nd down and 4. And again, a give to Jenkins, and he's going to be stopped by ACU's Will Schaefer. Led the team last year in tackles and gets one there for a 3rd and short. You see Ademo there, the tight end. Levon Linda will not play tonight, injured. And Giovanni Allegria, who had a fumble recovery after a sack last week, gets the start.
Good tackle by linebacker, safety Will Schaefer.
Will Schaefer, who is one of the captains for ACU, and again led the team last year with 123 tackles in a season that saw ACU make it 2 rounds deep into the FCS playoffs. And a 3rd down. Good job by Vidlak to corral it, and it's going to be a 1st and 10. And it all started with Vidlak's good hands and able to get it away. And that's a 1st down gain.
Kind of the old school quick pitch, and got a 1st down, got 3 yards.
Richard Reese, the transfer from Baylor. And here's a little play action. Here's Kylan Harris, the top receiver for SFA. Picks up 5, 2nd down and 5 on the ACU side of the field.
Bubble screen to Kylan Harris, and great block by the split end against the corner.
1,600 career yards receiving for Kylan Harris with 17 touchdowns. Like everyone with Stephen F., not a lot of success or production last week. ACU sends an extra rusher over the middle, wide open, caught, and hanging on for a big game. Blaine Green down to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10, Stephen F. Austin with some early success.
Hurry up.
Vidlak in the gun again, and he can't go sidearm, and that's because Dorian Plumley came flying in from his safety spot and blows that play up, 2nd down and long.
Going to run the same play to the other side, quick screen, and could not throw.
So Plumley, who is one of the veterans of this ACU defense, Coach Keith Patterson says he loves old defenses. They're not as old as he'd like them to be, but in Kagan Roach and Will Schaefer and Dorian Plumley, he's got some veteran experience, and ACU just jumped. It's a free play, and it's going to be off the hands of Jordan Neighbors, but it's going to be 5 free yards for Stephen F. as ACU jumped off sides.
Lots of mistakes early for ACU on their defense. The offense of Stephen F. is certainly taking advantage.
Number 93 is on the snap.
So again, ACU has already matched its penalty total from last week. Home opener, and again, not many more familiar foes than this one for Abilene Christian here on the Division I level at least. A second down and 4.
Please reset the game
Should be
clock
third.
for 10 minutes, 21 seconds.
No, it will be second because of the 5-yard penalty. We'll reset the game clock here. So 2nd and 4. Neighbors had it on his hands, but
Thank you.
couldn't bring it in. Pistol formation. Reese, the transfer from Baylor. He'll get a chance here running left. A lot of blocking on the outside, and Reese to the edge for a 1st and 10 at the 15 of ACU.
Outstanding blocking on the stretch play. Just an outside zone and got outside that defensive end and outside linebacker.
Non-conference matchup for these teams that have been conference foes so many times. And Reese again with a pile pushing forward. Gain of 3. 2nd down and 7 coming up.
Stephen F. Austin winning the battle up front. All 5 of the linemen and tight end every time they're getting a push.
All right, to give again to Reese. He's got some blockers out there and able to get down close to another 1st. And Jordan Mukes came up from his corner position to at least redirect Reese. 3rd down and a couple, if that. They're going to go with a Wildcat here and up the middle for a touchdown. Jordan Neighbors. And Stephen F. Austin draws first blood.
It was not a zone read, but it was the zone keep. They were going to run it inside the whole way. Didn't get touched till the end zone.
So that is a 61-yard touchdown drive. And on to attempt the extra point is Carlos Alvarado. Into the hold of Tug Sanford. And Stephen F. Austin shut out a week ago at Houston. They've come to West Texas, and they've got their first points of 20-25. Stephen F. Austin, 7. Abilene Christian, nothing. UAC football on ESPN.
Presenting the helmet is Vice President for Athletics.
tonight in West Texas. And a great start for Stephen F. Austin. 7-0. That 61-yard drive capped off by the Neighbors touchdown. The Neighbors running the Wildcat, scoring from 7 yards out. Now the ACU defense regroups and the offense waiting to get on the field again. Jacob Hand will kick it off again. Adrian Baltrop is going to return this one from the goal line. Had a nearly 50-yarder last week and can't get out of that terrific ankle tackle around the 20. So 1st and 10 for ACU. And coach, the 10-yard holding penalty on 1st down really put ACU behind the chains.
Yeah, it was huge. Too many mistakes for ACU the first drive, and the offensive line kind of got whipped and made too many mistakes.
And so Stone Earl brings it back out to the 21-yard line. New offensive line for ACU as Earl, who got here to ACU in 2020, maybe not even the best athlete at the family reunion. And I'm going to start with his cousin Bella, who was a starter for Julie Goodenough's ACU Wildcat team for the last 4 years and started 95 games. And here's another penalty on ACU.
False start.
Second pre-snap penalty, and Keith Patterson will not be happy with what you could describe as a false start for this entire first nearly 6 minutes of the game. All Stephen F. Austin so far. They forced a 3 and out, and then they went 61 yards. Earl with a play action, and is going to go down. 5 sacks last week at Tulsa, and he's dropped here for another back at the 12, and ACU's going the wrong way.
Had 3 receivers running intermediate routes, about 15 yards. Stone never had a chance to see any of them and tried to scramble and got sacked.
Vaughn is the tailback. ACU looking for something positive here on the offensive side, really on either side of the ball. Stephen F. Austin really not much trouble scoring on their first drive. 2nd and long. Earl, right side. Good catch and a broken tackle by Javon Gibson, and he drags 4 Lumberjacks across the line to gain. And there's the big play that ACU was looking for.
Big play on a post curl, ran about a 15-yard curl, made a great catch, and got about 7 yards after the catch was the key to the first down.
Javon Gibson had 23 catches last year for 335 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And ACU with a little breathing room as they are going to run it, a designed run with Earl, and he's going to have a good solid gain of about 7. And that's part of the game plan with Earl, isn't it?
It is, and he really is a good runner and had probably 20 more if Jordan Vaughn had looked to the inside and got that outside backer, would have maybe gone the distance.
Earl's dad and his uncle, both offensive linemen in the NFL. Hand off to Vaughn, and he's going to be, well, he's going to land on the back of Jaden Southern of Stephen F. He's going to be about a yard shy. It's a 3rd down and a yard.
3rd and 1. They may actually be thinking about 2 plays here early.
It's play action, dumped off. Jed Castles has got the first down. The Texas Tech transfer has been terrific for ACU in his 3 seasons here. And it's a 1st and 10 of the Wildcats, who've come from a 2nd down and 20, now have something going.
Yeah, ran the bootleg with no pulling guard, so Stone had to evade one guy and made a great play to get the first down.
Near midfield, trailing 7-0 midway through the first quarter. Play action again. Earl looking over the middle, too high intended for Dallas Dudley. Take a look at our impact players tonight. Aaron Austin and Ed Bob, as his coach Colby Carthel calls him. Ed Bobineau, J.J. Henry, returning wide receiver, 2nd year at ACU, and Jordan Vaughn. Transferred from Wyoming a couple of years ago here to ACU, 3rd season here in Abilene. 2nd down and 10. And Earl again is going to throw against an extra rusher. Pressure coming, and Earl is going to escape. He's got some room to run. He gets to the far sideline, turns the corner, and there goes Stone Earl, hurting Stephen F. with his arm, and now with his feet. 1st and 10 in Lumberjack territory.
Yeah, looked like the Wildcat, literally the Wildcat. Looked like he was a running back. Did that on his own.
From the Stephen F. 42, 1st and 10. And to give this time to Rovon Banks, who's undercut, minimal gain. Aaron Sears came in for the tackle, 2nd down and long.
Rovon gives ACU a threat to go sideways in the distance, and a good job by the defensive 7 tackling the zone.
Rovon, first year, had 112 carries for ACU and 473 yards. Last 2 seasons, hasn't even had that combined. Wide open, but overthrown. And that was intended for Grant Jones. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
Jalen Mayo, the cornerback, didn't see him or went to somebody else. He was wide open if Stone had seen him.
So ACU goes 4 wide here with Vaughn the tailback. And again, 5 new offensive linemen. A couple played sparingly last year here, 3 transfers. And now on 3rd and long against a 4-man rush. Over the middle and dropped. And the flag comes in late. Gibson, drop may have been harsh. It would have been a great catch. Hands outstretched. So that is going to be an automatic 1st down. Defensive holding. And ACU, which has had a few self-inflicted wounds this time, gets a 1st down by penalty.
Yeah, Charles Demings made a great play, just got there too early.
And Demings is going to be playing on Sundays, and maybe for a while in the estimation of a lot of scouts. The 6'1 senior from Mesquite Horn High School, the alma mater of an ACU great, Taylor Gabriel, who himself played on Sundays for many, many moons for the Browns and the Bears, and played in the Super Bowl for the Falcons. 1st and 10 after the penalty on Demings. ACU was backed up to their own 12 at one point. To give to Vaughn, and he'll get maybe a yard. ACU didn't run for a whole lot last week. And in fact, in ACU's first 3 drives, 2 of them accounted for most of their yardage for the night. They went 15 plays and then 7 plays, had about 150 yards. They were stopped on the doorstep twice against Tulsa. Could have taken the lead a couple of times. That is Dallas Dudley in motion. Earl with pressure in his face, hits Castles, who catches, drops, and then drops it, regains and drops it again. Hot potato, and Castles can't bring it in. 3rd down and 10.
Don't think I've ever seen him drop a pass in critical time for ACU's offense.
And credit Demings for keeping Castles from gathering it in one last time. Henry is the slot man on the right. J.J. Henry. We've got a much bigger Henry. Itty, the tight end. Just to J.J.'s left. Big play here, 3rd down and 10. Time to throw. Going for it all. And over the head of Dallas Dudley. And it's going to be 4th down and 10. And here comes the kick team for ACU, Kyler Meske. Here's another look at it.
That was a good no call. A little bumping, but good coverage.
ACU the last couple of years has had some terrific kickers, Kyle Ramsey and Ritzy Vase, but Meske, who was a kickoff specialist last year, gets his first chance at scoring. And he's wide right. So the 48-yard attempt misses. Stephen F. Austin takes over. All right, 7-0 Stephen F. Austin leading Abilene Christian. ACU had a great drive, but Kyler Meske's first field goal attempt wide right. And so Stephen F., which marched smartly down the field, a 61-yard touchdown drive, their first possession, has it back with a chance to extend their lead. Two backs in the backfield, and Sam Vidlak. He's going to hand it off running left. That's Bugs Mortimer. I beg your pardon, that's Anthony Williams. Bugs a wide receiver. Anthony, tailback.
Stephen F. Austin ran the outside zone with an extra blocker in the backfield. Really good job by the defensive end outside linebacker.
This is a veteran Stephen F. team with a couple of really nice transfers in here. And Wembley this time, already the fourth running back to get a shot tonight. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 from their own 36. Take a look at the impact players on this side of the ball. Kylan Harris, the terrific wide receiver. Jordan Neighbors. And then for ACU, Dorian Plumley and Chris Wright. Wembley, the tailback on this 3rd down and 5. Vidlak going to screen it, and Wembley has room and has the first after being tackled by Jocelyn Malaska, and it's a 1st and 10 for Stephen F.
Great job by quarterback Vidlak throwing a screen, fairly quick screen to the tight side of the field. Super job by that guard pulling in front, getting the outside linebacker.
So here against an FCS opponent, Stephen F. already with 3 3rd down conversions. They had 3 all of last week. Here's a catch by Blaine Green. And it's a good 1st down gain that takes Stephen F. Austin into ACU territory.
Just a timing route, about a 10-yard turn in, kind of a curl.
And Stephen F. Austin has ACU on its heels. Vidlak with time to throw, off his back foot, wide open. Kylan Harris, touchdown, Stephen F. Are they going to say he's down at the 1?
Touchdown.
It is a touchdown, SFA. Home run ball. Vidlak, a baseball player, drops a dime in, and Harris secures it. And they may double check to make sure that he got across. Yeah, it is going to be reviewed, but
boy, that was a great throw by the quarterback. Jocelyn Malaska was the cornerback trying to cover him and had safety help, but the safety, free safety, never got there. Just a great throw by the quarterback.
SFA at the 1 yard
Okay. So 47 3/4 yard strike from Vidlac to Kylan Harris. It'll be first and goal for Stephen F. Austin at the 1. But Vidlac, this is what he did last year until he got hurt with 3 games to go in the season.
Yeah, he throws deep. He throws the ball accurately everywhere, but it's thrown deep extremely well tonight.
And his offensive line has given him time. First and goal. It's a fake, and ACU was not faked. Anthony Williams Jr. thrown back by Kagan Roach. It's second down and goal from a little farther out.
Yeah, direct snap to the tailback, and nobody bought it, and the defensive end, outside linebacker, inside linebacker, everybody made him in the backfield. Makes this interesting.
This was the leading offense and the leading defense in terms of points scored and allowed in the Southland Conference last year. And they're knocking on the door again, leading at 7-0 late first quarter. ACU desperate for some kind of a stop. This is going to be, it's not going to be Vidlac, the quarterback. It's going to be a direct snap to Gavin Rutherford, whom Keith Patterson thought they would see. Rutherford actually played against Abilene Christian last year in the regular season finale and was terrific, leading a 32-19 victory. So now third down and goal. They were at the 1 after the touchdown was overturned and spotted at the 1. And now ACU and Keith Patterson want a timeout. Feels kind of like a big play here, Coach. It's a points play, isn't it?
You and I thought there was a touchdown, figured the ball would be at the foot line. It was at the 1 yard line, and then we got ACU got 2 sacks. Play call is very important here for Stephen F. Austin.
And it's the difference in 10-0 and 14-0, and ACU's already missed a field goal and been stopped on 3 and out. Chris Ross and Mike Moots both back with Colby Carthel. Ross is the offensive coordinator, Moots the DC, and there just feels like some stability here with this Stephen F. team, which last year was this close to making the postseason. They lost 5 games, and 4 of them were, all 4 of their FCS losses were by 1 score. They're trying to make this a 2-score lead, and Rutherford will remain in there, and he'll go under center. It's kind of a tribute to the 1973 game.
That's great.
I formation.
That's great.
Rutherford with options into the end zone, caught, touchdown. Green brings it in, and Stephen F. Austin converts. Blaine Green, who came over a couple of years ago from Oklahoma State. He has made it 13-0 with an extra point pending.
Yeah, Green was running, looked like a slant. It turned into a V route. He stops about 2 yards in the end zone, turns back toward the back corner. Great pass, great concept.
We will pay attention to Vidlac because he did take a pop on that long throw downfield to Kylan Harris. And here's the extra point from Alvarado. It's good. And this start is better than good for Stephen F. Austin. Shut out last week at Houston. Now leading Abilene Christian 14-0. One more look here. Again, Rutherford buys himself some time on the designed rollout. Tyson Williams and Jocelyn Malaska, the defenders back there. But it was too good. Well thrown and a great catch from Green.
Just a little bit great decision and a little bit high, and he showed us the leaping ability of you and I together, I think, and it was just a great catch, too.
And so now, Abilene Christian here in their home opener. All the excitement after last year, making it to the second round of the FCS playoffs. They actually had that big lead in the second quarter against the eventual national champion, North Dakota State, before the Bison came roaring back to win it and went on to win the national title again. Here they are on the wrong end for their fans of a 14-0 score. Ball trip again is going to bring it out, this time from a yard deep, reverses his course, and he's going to be about -8 from had he just taken the touchback. So take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. For Stephen F. Austin, they want to get it going through the air, and they've done that. And for ACU, they got to get to the red zone first and limit the big plays. Well, they have not been able to do that so far. The big play over the top from Vidlac to Kylan Harris put them on the doorstep, and then Gavin Rutherford and Blaine Green kicked it in. So Abilene Christian tries to answer now. Little dump off, and this is going to be Ravon Banks, and he's got about 8. And a good start to the drive here with about 90 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice job by Ravon Banks. He was in the backfield, and they ran a little slip screen, flare screen. Good first down.
And Earl's going to keep this one and may regret it. He's going to lose about 6. Back to the 22-yard line. Maybe 5, and so it's going to bring up 3rd down and long.
That was the zone read, and should have read it. Stone did not see the defensive end or the outside linebacker, probably both waiting for him outside, and still kept it.
Well, this is not the most nervous Stone Earl has been. Last year, he and Marshall marched into the horseshoe in Columbus. And they were tied at 7 at the end of the first the first quarter. Now down 14-0, and again under pressure, fires it downfield and a little wide of Javon Gibson, and just a nightmare start here at home for Abilene Christian.
Yeah, Javon Gibson was running a fly route, a vertical, had a single coverage. Again, quarterback for Abilene Christian is not getting enough time to set his feet and throw.
Yeah, you could just see there on the replay that Earl was under pressure. And that was a bit of a desperation heave. Hugo Nash just gets that one away. Was it deflected? Didn't see any kind of indication. And boy, a dangerous return by Bugs Mortimer with a couple of Wildcats in his face. He's able to secure it. It'll be 1st and 10 for SFA. One more look here. Very, very close. Looks like Michael Patterson, the 3rd, who was maybe a fingernail away. So here's Vidlac. He's out there, and that was clearly just a series given or a set of downs given to Rutherford down there by the goal line, which worked, led to a touchdown. And now the ACU defense, which really held its own last week, especially the first 2.5 quarters against Tulsa, they've been gouged here, kind of in every which way, Jim.
Every which way, absolutely.
Yeah, with big plays and small as well. And a good starting field position again for Stephen F. Austin. And this is a give to Reese. And that was Rashawn Miles Jr. who had him by the ankles. His dad was a running back, played for you.
Played for me, and Rashawn Miles Jr. is an inside linebacker now. Really nice play.
Led the Wildcats last week with 11 tackles. Back when you were offensive coordinator for the late, great Gary Gaines. In fact, Colby Carthel
was on the staff.
Was on that staff as well.
This is the end of the first quarter.
Colby's going to let the time run out in the first quarter. A successful first quarter for the Lumberjacks and Sam Vidlac. They lead ACU on the road, 14-0. 14-0 ACU trails at home to Stephen F. Austin as both teams have their first FCS opponent of the season. All Lumber.
And today we've got a fun throwback story for you. SFA head coach Colby Carthel spent 5 years on the ACU coaching staff here in Abilene. He spent time as a defensive line coordinator and recruiting coordinator as well. And a fun story to look back on. He left a game halfway through against Tarleton coaching staff, and he went to propose to his girlfriend mid-game. Of course, she said yes, and now he's back here in Abilene coaching against the Wildcats. Grant, up to you.
His dad, Don Carthel, who won 5 Lone Star Conference championships and locked horns with ACU for so many years on the Division II level. Stone Earl dumps it off. Jed Castles does secure this one, makes a couple of men miss, and he's going to give ACU a 3rd down and short. Coach, you know Colby very well. You know Don well. It's a terrific coaching family.
It's a terrific family. Don Carthel is one of the great coaches in the Lone Star Conference history. His son is just like him, both great game coaches, both extremely hard workers and great motivators.
And there's Don right there. It's got the headset on and still actively involved. And now he's passed that baton on. 25 years as a coach for Colby. 3rd down and short. It's to give up the middle, and Rovon Banks is, with that extra effort, I think going to have enough. And ACU is going to move the chains. It's a 1st and 10. And Coach, this is not what ACU had in mind tonight. They knew Stephen F. Austin would be tough defensively, but trailing 14-0, it puts a little extra urgency, it seems like, on every possession now for Abilene Christian.
Yeah, it does. This drive, if you were an ACU coach, you would think this is key to move the ball down the field and at least get points.
Earl fakes the screen. Now fires it left side. Good catch with the hands, and Dallas Dudley. You might know his dad, Ricky Dudley. He was a superstar at Ohio State, went on to play in the NFL for the Raiders and the Browns, won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, and his first catch is going to be negated because ACU's called for its 2nd holding penalty of the night. Wipe it off, and now you got a 1st and 20. So that's how the first drive started. And it looked like a pretty good call. Center judge threw it. And so 1st and 20 for Abilene Christian. That was thrown into double coverage, but Dudley got the hands on it and brought it in. No avail. Earl wants to throw again, this time Henry, and makes another man miss. He gets to the outside, and that's about 14, 15 yards for J.J. Henry. Transfer from Ole Miss last year, 2nd year at ACU, and this is what we saw a lot last year.
Yeah, J.J. Henry, great, quick receiver, short receiver, ran a 15-yard curl.
Now 3rd, make it 2nd down and 5. It was at 1st and 20. Earl dumps it off. Vaughn has it, and Vaughn is going to be very close to a 1st down. I think he's got it. And Earl that time had a little extra beat and dumped it off for a 1st down.
Yeah, maybe Stones.
In fact, beg your pardon, that was actually E.J. Wilson making his first catch.
Maybe Stone's best throw of the night just kept moving from 1st, 2nd, 3rd receiver, probably went to his 4th choice.
So E.J. Wilson now in the stats book. With play action, Earl avoids the initial defender, and is that a catch from Grant Jones? It was. Lifts it off the turf, and that's a gain of 7.
Had to avoid 2 people, should have been sacked, 7 yards, and then scrambled and found a receiver under duress.
Grant Jones from an ACU family, redshirted last year. Has a big catch, 2nd down and about 3. He's going to run the option here, keeping it as Earl. He's got a 1st down, and he's going to go down in Lumberjack territory at the 45, and ACU now with a little bit of momentum. This is like their 2nd drive.
Yeah, I'm an old coach, and we'll call that a speed option, and the quarterback just did it perfectly. 3 good plays in a row for Stone Earl.
So 1st and 10 for ACU. Got it down inside the 30 on their 2nd possession, but missed a field goal. Baltrop goes in motion, play action, downfield, wide open, Baltrop dropped it. 2nd big drop tonight for ACU. And Baldrup, who's been a kickoff man, that time maybe was smelling pay dirt.
He was, and he did look up a bit too soon.
So that's a big play that goes by the boards. Baldrup gives ACU a 2nd and 10. Earl screens it to Banks, and he drops it. Banks dropped what would have been a touchdown last week against Tulsa. And what at the time was a scoreless game. So 3 drops already tonight for ACU.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Rovan drop that kind of pass. A little flare again, quick screen to the right side.
So 3rd down and 10. That's Eddie Henry, the tight end, in motion. And Stephen F. jumps. Free play. Earl realizes it, goes for Gibson. And can't bring it in, but it should be 3rd and 5 coming up for Abilene Christian. That was so close that I wondered if they might blow the play dead.
Offside. Defense, number 33. 5-yard penalty.
One more look here, and good recognition by Earl, huh?
Yeah, just
That it
knew he was
be-
going to get hit, but took advantage, knew he had a free play.
Following the penalty, it'll be 3rd down and 5
Pretty good
for the
coverage.
Wildcats.
And there as well by Devian Hargrove to prevent Gibson from making that gain more than just the 5 free ones. 3rd down and 5. Abilene Christian needs points, trailing 14-0. Earl fires it, caught, and that is, I think, enough. Javon Gibson makes it 1st and 10 for ACU at the Stephen F. 35-yard line.
Good catch under duress. Javon Gibson about a 7-yard stop and just turned back to the quarterback.
And so Abilene Christian was generous with a couple of their own penalties early in the game, and now SFA has returned the favor. That was a 3rd and 10 that was incomplete, became a 3rd and 5, and then Abilene Christian converts. Earl again, one-on-one coverage, and over the head of Dallas Dudley. 2nd and 10, and Earl tonight now 9 of 17 through the air for 71 yards. He's also rushed it 6 times for 30 yards.
Tried to throw a back shoulder. If he had hit him in stride about 2 yards outside his route, cornerback fell down. For ACU, missed opportunity.
2nd and 10 from the 35 of Stephen F. Austin. And Earl again is going to throw it. And that's in, almost caught and almost intercepted. And a 4th drop already tonight. And then a drop by Stephen F. Austin as well, through the hands of Castles. And Reddick kicking himself, not bringing that one in. You think about the muffed punt that Tyson Williams somehow scurried to regain, and then that dropped interception. Not sure how far Reddick would have made it, but it certainly would have taken the ball away. 3rd down and 10, maybe 4-down territory depending on this play. Earl, yes, and that's Gibson again for another 1st down. And that is a gain of 20 and a couple more, and a flag comes in, and this may be another.
It may be on an offensive lineman for ACU.
Hands to the face, perhaps. Yeah. Jaden Southard is convinced it's coming back.
There's no foul on the play. There's over the play. It's 1st down.
No foul on the play.
Discussed it.
Yeah, Southard begs to differ. Jeremy Tate says play on. And that's a big conversion. So you got Stone Earl here, 10 of 19, but definitely deserves better given how on the money he's largely been tonight.
Yeah, you and I can count 4 or 5 at least.
So it's 1st and 10, and again, E.J. Wilson is the tailback. Little scrimmage from the 14 of Stephen F. Austin. Deepest penetration tonight for ACU. Little slant. And did Gibson get it? I think he did. So Gibson's been the hot receiver here. 4 catches now. And that's going to be for over 50 yards.
Yeah, Earl to Gibson for about 6 yards there. Just a stick route, 6 yards down the field and come right across.
So 2nd down and 5. Wilson remains the tailback. Looking right, slant, caught. Is it Gibson again? To the 1-yard line.
First down.
1st and goal. So Earl to Gibson. It's been the winning combination tonight for ACU. They hooked up for a 42-yard gain last week in Tulsa. Earl's going to keep this one. Running to his left, and Stone Earl is into the end zone, and ACU is on the board.
Yeah, I think Stone deserved that one, and it was a fake all the way. He did not read it. He had a pulling either guard or tackle coming around with him. Good design play. Important drive for ACU in this first half.
When he was playing at ACU for a season and a half, he had 14 touchdowns passing, a couple rushing. He's got his 2nd rushing touchdown tonight, this season, I should say. And on for the extra point. It is good. Brandon Perez, the lefty, brings ACU to within 1 score, 14-7. Stephen F. gets the ball back in a moment. (14-7). Stephen F. Austin leading Abilene Christian here on the hill, as they call it, around Abilene. Not a lot of hills in West Texas, in case you haven't noticed, but
there's a small hill.
That's as close as they get
in Abilene. Well, it's a small one.
And it was a small hill to climb for ACU. That's a little smaller now as Sam Vidlac and Stephen F. Austin jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Abilene Christian with a large drive to cut it to 1 score. Kickoff from Kyler Meskey. Richard Reese is going to be shy of the 20, maybe right. Let's see what that forward progress is as the teams exchange pleasantries. Goes back to 1973. You mentioned that in the open of the show. That was 57-50 over at Shotwell Stadium across town, back where ACU played for more than half a century.
I do remember that.
You were.
I was a nice, really important-looking backup, and I was a backup during an exciting time.
Half the distance penalty will be 1st down, SFA.
Oh, penalty.
Yeah, penalty against Stephen F. Austin. So that will move it back to the 9-yard line. ACU defense got its first stop on the previous possession. Remember that 82-yard touchdown drive led by Stone Earl and finished by Stone began after Tyson Williams was able to secure the punt that he had muffed. Otherwise, it would have been 1st and 10 for Stephen F. in the red zone. Here's a toss, and Wembley is going to be caught from behind by Plumlee. And that one went nowhere. Maybe a half-yard gain, 2nd down and long, and now the ACU sideline. And both units for the Wildcats, offense and defense, feel like they've got a little more pep in the step. Vidlac in the gun, play action, screen, and that one was short of Kylan Harris.
And it
wasn't
3rd and long. Excuse me, it was an incomplete pass with close to a lateral. Could have lost 6 yards on that play.
And so suddenly now Stephen F. Austin is the team that back on its heels just a little bit, needing to make a play. Here's Colby Carthel. Vidlac, time to throw, hit from behind, ball is loose, on the ground, and ACU's recovered, and they've got a chance to tie the game. Kagan Roach just like that, this game is an extra point from being knotted up.
Kagan Roach from the blind side. Boy, they're a good quarterback, the good quarterback for Stephen F. Austin. Never saw him, never had a chance.
Take another look here, and that is the big fella, Cortland Rousseau, who hit and dislodged the ball, and Roach fell on it. There he is, Kagan Roach, who had an interception of Cam Miller in the North Dakota State playoff game last year. Intercepting the best player in FCS football.
Recovered by the defense is under review.
They're going to double check just to make sure. I can't fathom what they might need to review, but they've got all the angles, and they'll check them out. Kagan Roach, for the moment, celebrates. Continues. We've been looking at it. We can't quite see what they may be looking at. Jeremy Tate will tell us.
Here we go.
After review, the ruling on the touchdown is upheld.
Yeah, upheld is the new language, and maybe they just wanted to see what a great sack this was.
Yeah, and you and I have, you've heard me say this before, I'll be polite, but sometimes the video reviews take too long and are not needed. That could be one.
Cortland Rousseau, transfer from North Texas. Kagan Roach, preseason all-conference selection. They may have been double-checking that Vidlak's arm hadn't already started forward. Worth reviewing, I would say. And Perez's extra point is good. And so, a tale really of two quarters. Stephen F. Austin, 14-zip. ACU with the last 14. And let's start over. You think about really the big plays that we've seen tonight from both teams. There weren't a lot of big plays. Neither team really had a lot of success last week. ACU had a couple of really good drives that died at the 1 yard line. All credit to Tulsa, certainly. But against the Big 12's Houston Cougars, SFA only got 144 yards of offense. Tonight, each team has made big plays on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and if Stephen F. Austin recovers that fumble, they'll go in and score, and you're looking at 21-7
on the punt.
Now,
yeah,
right, instead of now 14-14.
And don't forget, there was that penalty on Stephen F. Austin on the kick return that moved the ball back inside the 10-yard line. Kyler Meskey is going to kick it off, as he did last year. And Richard Reese from the 3 up the middle of the field. Stutter step, gets to the outside, breaks a tackle, and he'll have good yardage across the 30. And don't see any flags on the field this time. So Stephen F. Austin in a game in which we start over 24 minutes in. We start over with 6 minutes even to play. This is ACU Stephen F. Austin, though, isn't it? This is what we see
Pretty
almost
typical.
every year.
Yeah, this is a shared history that we've seen a long time, and two great coaches, two long-standing rivals.
Last year really was the anomaly when Stephen F. Austin, on senior day in Nacogdoches, Vidlak had been injured. Keith Patterson brought his team there. They had just beaten Tarleton State to clinch the UAC and to earn a playoff spot, and he was the first to admit that they were not ready to play that night, and Stephen F. Austin was. Screen to Kylan Harris. He's got some room, and he'll be denied, I think, the line. No, he'll get right to the line to gain. Jordan Mukes with a good open field tackle, but not until Harris, the terrific wideout, gives Stephen F. Austin a 1st and 10. They'll go a little up-tempo here, and right up the gut, Will Schaefer. And Boone Morris, a transfer from Kansas State, really didn't get to play last year. He is fired up. Linebacker, parents,
I know
ACU
his family.
Yeah.
I know his family.
He's bigger than either one of his parents, I can promise you.
Yes, he is.
2nd down and about 10. Vidlak play action all day to throw. Rolls to his left, still looking, and he'll go out of bounds and push the ball forward across the 40 to the 42. And again, good coverage by ACU.
Yeah, could have been a coverage sack. Couldn't get a rush from ACU's front three. Just couldn't even get close. Plenty of time, 7 or 8 seconds to throw.
So 3rd down and 7, and suddenly Stephen F. Austin is struggling here on the offensive side of the ball after marching downfield for touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. 3rd and 7 in a tie game. ACU sends the house, and down goes Vidlak, and the ball is out again, and Chris Wright has got it for the Wildcats, and they've got all the momentum of the ball back.
Recovered by the defense.
Defense was playing cover 0, straight man. You know 6 are coming, maybe 7, and 1 was totally unblocked.
ACU down 14-0, has come all the way back, and now they've got their 2nd takeaway of the quarter. Neither team had a takeaway last week. Get one more look here. And that's Isaiah Crawford, a Texas Tech transfer. And now here comes Stone Earl with a head of steam. Jordan Vaughn goes in motion, fakes the screen. Earl scrambling, and now he's smothered. Really good defense by Stephen F. Austin. And that time Aaron Austin, no relation to Stephen F. The tackle.
Probably a good no throw by Stone Earl. Didn't have anybody open, tried to scramble. Good tackle by Stephen F. Austin for a 2-yard loss.
2nd down and a dozen. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Stephen F. Austin will get the ball to start the second half. Castles comes in motion, now plants. 10 seconds still on the play clock. And again, it's a designed run, and Earl spun around. He'll get a couple. And that was Southard, I believe, who redirected him. It was, and so now 3rd down and long.
Yeah, quarterback sweep. He ran that several times last week. Good job by the defense, especially that defensive end.
Interesting spot here. If they don't get the 1st down, it'd be a long field goal, one of which they've already missed. Vaughn is the tailback, and Earl, who's been solid tonight. 3rd down at about 9. It's a give to Vaughn, and he stays on his feet. He's got some room to the 15. Vaughn to the 10. Jordan Vaughn inside the 5. They won it on 3rd and 8, and Vaughn converts.
Just ran the inside zone. Front 5 offensive linemen just cleared a huge hole.
And they hustle to the line of scrimmage. Earl in the shotgun. Give to Vaughn. A yard maybe. 2nd and goal. It's whiplash here from what happened with the start of this game and now what's happened in the second quarter.
Yeah, totally different game. Completely different.
And Stone Earl is trying to extend this run of 14 straight points. He's trying to hear the call from Graham Harrell, first-year offensive coordinator. You know the name. His dad, Sam, is going into the ACU Sports Hall of Fame later this year. Brother Clark, your son-in-law, former ACU quarterback. And he comes from a great football family, and Graham is one of the reasons why it's a great football family.
Yeah, Sam Harrell is one of the great coaches of all time.
Abilene Christian, 30 seconds.
Timeout on the field. ACU knocking on the door once again in a tie game. Second down and goal for Abilene Christian. Stone Earl in the gun. They're going to toss it. This is Baltrop, or is it Henry? A late flag comes in as Baltrop took it on the wide receiver end around.
Yeah, critical here. Ball's at about the 1.
And now ACU is signaling as if it's against Stephen F. Austin.
Which might be a 1st down for ACU.
ACU with 3 penalties early in the game. Stephen F. Austin now
After the play was
danger
over,
of their 6th.
unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 14, his first of the game.
Wow.
Half the distance penalty.
So instead of 3rd and goal at the 1,
first down.
First down.
Tyler Hutcherson on that little jet sweep. Hutcherson 14. Watch him come in here at the end. And there is a lot of emphasis this year on taunting.
Taunting.
We've seen that in other games already. And Hutcherson says, you know,
timeout.
here's something that was not an issue maybe in years past. This is the 2-minute timeout. And Abilene Christian, after another Stephen F. Austin penalty, has a fresh set of downs. 1st and goal from the Lumberjack 1 when we come back. Just a perfect night for football. 74 degrees. And the home fans have liked what they've seen in the second quarter. First quarter didn't go their way so much. And now a 1st and goal from the 1 under center for the first time. Earl, a little pitch to Jordan Vaughn. He's into the end zone, standing up. Touchdown to ACU.
Under center for the first time. Wow.
You remember that, don't you?
I don't. I do, actually.
So ACU has come storming back. It's been a lights-out second quarter. After trailing 14-0, they've gotten a couple of takeaways, one of which was a fumble recovery in the end zone after a strip sack. And now, after Chris Wright recovered a fumble forced by Isaiah Crawford, Jordan Vaughn cashes it in to give ACU its first lead of the season. Brandon Perez extra point is en route and through. Take one more look here. Just a little shove to Jordan Vaughn, and he shoves his way into the end zone. What's happened here? I
don't know.
Idea.
There are 2 different games with 2 totally new teams. Don't know who's playing.
Stephen F. Austin
Incredible.
had 125 yards of offense in the first quarter. They have -2 with 2 turnovers in the second quarter. ACU, on the other hand, behind Jordan Vaughn, averaging 6 yards a carry. Don't forget that 3rd and 8 that ACU converted on a run play. Maybe they are trying to throw it back to that first meeting in 1973. You're going under center. And now Stephen F. Austin is trying to regroup. Colby Carthel, you see over there on the right. Showed you his dad Don up here in the press box. Wife Sarah, by the way, easily his wife Sarah, the best athlete of their marriage. She was a 2-time Division II Player of the Year in volleyball at West Texas A&M. And that story that Daisy told you earlier, when Coach Gary Gaines gave a very young Colby Carthel permission to leave the Tarleton State game at halftime. The bad news is ACU lost the game. The good news is Sarah said yes. And 3 kids later.
Yeah, and she is the best part of that family. She's outstanding. She was here too for a while
assistant
until
coach
she transferred.
For Breck Horn.
Yeah.
ACU volleyball team. So Jeremy Tate having a conversation. There have been some flags thrown on kick returns.
After the play was over, flagrant unsportsmanlike conduct. Receiving team number 80.
Another
spitting on an opponent.
Flagrant unsportsmanlike
After
conduct.
this is penalty from the dead ball spot. It'll be first down. SFA number 80 is ejected.
Well, has he been disqualified? Couldn't quite hear. But Stephen F. Austin has lost its way here on the field, and now with some 15-yard penalties and an early exit. So move the ball back from the 25-yard line and the touchback to the 12 and a half. 21-14 in favor of ACU. And this is a give to Jarrell Wembley. Rashawn Miles among the first to get there for Abilene Christian. Here's one more look. Well, Cameron Kelly.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, may have been something they heard.
Yeah.
Don't know. Enough to give him the rest of the night off. 2nd down and 8. Vidlak fires, right side, caught, and is it a first? I think. Wayland with the reception. They say move the chains. Clayton Wayland had the biggest reception of the game last week. You got 1:13 to go in the half. And what do we have here? A timeout taken
First
by
shot,
Stephen F.
timeout
Austin.
of the half, SFA, 30 seconds.
How many timeouts does Stephen F. Austin have now? I've lost track.
Yeah, they should have 2 left.
Okay, good.
All right, so just a wild night here. A lot of anticipation. 2 teams that know each other very well. You think about this. Lone Star Conference rivals on the NAIA level.
Yeah.
And when they first met in 1973, Abilene Christian went on to win the NAIA National Championship. Wilbert Montgomery, a big part of that as well. Clint Longley, the quarterback. Then they both move up to Division II, and they were still conference rivals. Then Stephen F. goes in the mid-'80s up to the FCS level, and they played sparingly in those years. ACU comes back in 2013 to join them on the Division I level in the Southland Conference. They both go to the WAC. Now Stephen F. Austin's gone back to the Southland Conference. They don't quite know how to quit each other, is what I'm trying to say, for more than 50 years. It's a run to the left and trying to get outside as Anthony Williams and can't. Whereas that actually bugs Mortimer. Mortimer, the wide receiver, on a little sweep.
Jordan Mukes made maybe the best play of the half for Abilene Christian.
So that's back at the 17-yard line. Now ACU may want to think about utilizing some timeouts. 2nd down, and I'm going to call it 16. Patterson may be content here with his team having wrested the lead and all of the good mojo away from Stephen F. 2nd down and 16. It's a give, and this is Wembley again with some good moves to avoid the initial contact. It's about 10, and now you got to, with 20 seconds to go, is either team going to go?
I don't think so.
Is it going to try to prolong the half? I don't think so. Yeah. Vidlak is looking, everyone at Stephen F. on their sidelines is beginning to exit, and I think that's going to do it.
Halftime.
5 seconds to go, and they'll not run another play. Stephen F. Austin will get the ball to start the second half, and they will need this halftime break. Their 14-0 lead has evaporated into the West Texas night. The home team, Abilene Christian, leads it by 7.
Both of these teams, they both score for the first time in the first half this season. 21-14 your score. Roman, this has been an exciting game so far.
Yeah, really 2 different teams in each of those quarters. Their SFA came out early, got the momentum. Their defensive ends flustered Stone Earl. This offense just couldn't get in rhythm, and then in that second quarter, ACU responds. They get the run game going. They get a couple big turnovers. This defense is what this team is proud of, what they want to win games with, and that's exactly what happened in that first half.
Well, look, talking about the defense, that's something that struggled last game. Give me your insight on how they've been so dominant, especially in that second quarter.
Yeah, in last week's game, Tulsa wanted to run the quick offense. A lot of slant routes, a lot of quick dink and dunk kind of plays with their quarterback there, and SFA wants to do a similar thing. A lot of screen passes to the flats that we've seen today from them, but the difference is ACU's been able to generate some pressure, let those playmakers on the defensive line, Kagan Roach, Rossoff from UNT. This front is the key to this defense and this team's success. When they got that going, good things happen, and it's why they're up at halftime.
Well, look, let's talk about how the Wildcats started off pretty rough. Some missed kicks, penalties, dropped passes, everything you can think of them doing wrong, they did. But a strong second quarter from the Wildcats. What's the difference you've seen?
Yeah, it's a big coaching thing. You got to have this staff come out in between the quarters there and say, hey, we lost the first one, move on. We got 3 more to go win. Set the tone early. That's exactly what they did. You see the Chris Wright recovery there. Kagan Roach is in the end zone for a score. This team flipped the mindset. They came back out aggressive and hungry in that second quarter. Not something we saw in the first. Just a great response in that second quarter, and now they need to continue it in the second half.
Well, look, I want to give some good credit to the Lumberjacks quarterbacks, man. I'm telling you, 2 of them scored today. Tell me about that, their offense, especially in that fourth quarter.
It's a dynamic backfield. 2 guys who, one passes more, one runs a little bit more, but we even saw that guy running it, throws a touchdown pass. It's a dynamic offense, one that SFA always has, and especially in Abilene. I mean, these 2 always competitive, always a physical battle. We saw an ejection in that first half. The SFA offense just knows how to play to their way. A lot of quick passing. They go over the top sometimes, but then the run game hasn't been great there. ACU been able to stop that, but the quarterback's been in control.
Well, tell me about the quarterbacks. Obviously, Stone Earl, he's played a lot better today, almost lights out. It's been a pretty perfect game, using his legs. Everything he's been doing has been productive for the Wildcats. As we look at the first half stats, what have you seen from this ACU offense with Stone Earl?
Yeah, Stone Earl 13 for 22 in that first half, just 106 yards there, but he was able to get the job done. He runs the system. He's that kind of source for them. And for SFA, Gabe Rutherford comes into the game, throws 1 pass, and it's a touchdown for 3 yards. On the other side, did like 8 for 9, 108. The only thing that this offense has done wrong is giving up those 2 turnovers on 2 excellent pass rush plays and 2 strip sacks. SFA needs to come out in the second half and recognize that that's all that's gone wrong for them. Otherwise, they're in complete control of this ballgame. Nearly recovered a muffed punt. That puts this game into 21-7 versus now what's a 21-14 ACU lead.
Yeah, those are your first half stats presented by First Bank of Texas. Guys, let's look at these 2 quarterbacks that have been playing today. Obviously, we've seen that Stone Earl had a great second half, and their quarterback for SFA, they did get in the first quarter. What do you think these quarterbacks both need to do to bounce back in the second half?
Yeah, for Stone Earl, it's just to continue to run the offense. Trust your legs. That's why they brought him in back to ACU. He's a great RPO kind of guy. They got the second touchdown, or the last touchdown, on an RPO play where he can either hand it off, he can take it himself, or he can dump it in the flat. They set it up perfectly. He ran it perfectly. And for SFA, whichever quarterback it is, it's been primarily Vidlac. You just got to continue to run the offense, trust your weapons, and not worry about what happened before, because ultimately 2 strip sacks, you got to have better pocket awareness, but not your fault.
Well, that's it from us here at the halftime desk. We'll see you post-game. Grant and Jim will meet you after the break.
Now it's time to show your school spirit.
Air Force Base is such an important part of the Abilene community. And we get ready here for the second half. Stephen F. Austin won the toss, deferred their decision to the second half. And what would you imagine? You coached with Colby Carthel. What would you imagine was among his messaging?
I would think he nicely, calmly addressed them, and they'll play better. They'll play with more poise. They'll play with more focus this third quarter.
Kyler Meskey boots this one about 8 yards deep, and it'll be a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. And for Stephen F. Austin, mercifully no flags. They've had a couple of them on kickoffs, including one that took them from the 25 back to the 12.5-yard line, and another one that took them back inside the 10 that preceded a strip sack from Cortland Rousseau that Kagan Roach recovered in the end zone, and that drew ACU even, 14 apiece. And then after another takeaway, the Wildcats punched it in with Jordan Vaughn, and that gives them the 7-point lead. In motion goes Neighbors. He had a Wildcat touchdown in the first half and bounces off his own man and a defender, and knocked out of bounds by Dorian Plumlee after a gain of 2. When I say a Wildcat touchdown, he ran the Wildcat for the Lumberjacks.
He did.
Yeah, that
He
can
did.
get confusing.
Yeah. They ran a little bubble screen. Good defensive play by that cornerback up top for Abilene Christian.
Sam Vidlak efficient, but he's been sacked a couple of times and lost the ball. It's going to be 3rd and long after just nothing up the middle. And coach looking at it so far, 22 carries for 28 yards on the ground for Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah, I think that's been the biggest adjustment for Abilene Christian. The front 7 has shut down second quarter, and this quarter so far the running game.
Even if you put those sack yards back in, and sack yards count against your rushing total in college football, it still has not been a productive night on the ground. 3rd down and 7. Stephen F. Austin's had just 1 first down since the first quarter. Rolling out Vidlak, pressure coming from Plumlee, and that's going to sail out of bounds, and a late flag comes in. The back judge threw it, and this has the look of a defensive penalty.
It does.
The ball was well out of reach, but that only is for pass interference. If it was something else like a hold, it wouldn't matter. I think they're going to wave it off, or maybe offensive pass interference.
I believe they waved it off. 4th down.
Well, here we go.
There's no foul on the play.
I think
for
they were
offensive
saying
pass
several,
interference.
if
Result
we're
of the
interpreting
play,
the signs correctly, it was an uncatchable ball, like
There
you
you go.
said, and took away the penalty for Abilene Christian.
Will wipe off the flag. Again, Plumlee really just got Vidlak off balance to the point that really all he could do was get rid of it. Tyson Williams is back deep, and you noted he might have had the biggest play of the night, recovering his own muffed punt inside the 20-yard line. 82 yards later, ACU got its first touchdown. High spinning punt that this time Williams secures cleanly at the 37-yard line. 45-yard punt, or 35-yard punt, no return. And now this ACU offense, which suddenly looks unstoppable, is coming back out.
Yeah, they need the same personality they had the second quarter. They eliminated mistakes. I felt like the offensive line started to control Stephen F. Austin's front 6, front 7. That was the key.
119 yards of offense in the second quarter, and that, of course, doesn't include the touchdown scored by the defense. Earl went under center on the touchdown run. This time back in the shotgun and a handoff running right for about 3. Jordan Vaughn, 3rd season at ACU, transfer from Wyoming. He's got an NFL kind of body. 6'3", 235 from Manville, Texas. And a 2nd down and 7 coming up. One of these teams is going to leave the field tonight 0-2. And Earl on 2nd and 7 over the middle. Henry with a flag thrown picks up 4.
In the holding area, maybe.
Been 2 holding penalties already. It looked like a hand to the face
Could be
gesture.
a hand to the face. Yeah,
And that may
right.
be against Stephen F.
I believe so. One of those defensive linemen.
Personal foul.
Wow.
Hands to the face.
Wow.
Defense, number 22.
So think about the 3 early
15
penalties
yards
from
for the
Abilene
average
Christian,
dead
which
ball
really
spot.
short-circuited them on
First down.
offensively and even when they were on defense. And now 6 penalties for 52 yards for Stephen F. Austin. And it moves the ball. Instead of a 3rd down and about, 3, you got a 1st and 10 at the Lumberjack 41. And ACU is in business again, leading it by 7. It's a give again to Vaughn. And he'll get about 4, maybe 5. Coach, tell me about patience for Jordan Vaughn and what will take him from being good to great.
And you and I talked about that the first quarter. There were a couple of zones, one zone and one stretch, where he was pounding the hole too fast before he could see where the hole was going to be. This last 6 or 7 carries has been really patient, waiting, and then bursting. Just really a great improvement.
Call it 2nd down and 5. In motion is Dudley, and it's another give to Vaughn, and good pursuit that time by the Lumberjacks, a gain of maybe 1. So 3rd down and 4, and if the Jacks ever needed to stop, it would be here with ACU driving once again.
Yeah, I think ACU might consider going for it 2 plays if they get to 4th and 1. We'll see what happens.
Vaughn remains in at tailback. It's Jed Castles in the right slot, the tight end. 3rd down and 4. In motion comes J.J. Henry. Earl looks left, fires that way. Henry turns upfield. It's another 1st down, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 24-yard line, a gain of 11, and another 1st down for ACU.
Yeah, maybe the best route I've seen J.J. run. It was a return route. He ran, it looked like a slant, 7-step slant, sticks his foot, goes back out to the 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. Perfect route.
Native of McKinney, went to Ole Miss, and Keith Patterson brought him back last year, 2nd year for the Wildcats, and he's been their most dependable receiver so far in the early part of this year. Javon Gibson's had a great night tonight. Handoff Vaughn, and again, good pursuit by Stephen F. Austin to limit that carry from maybe a yard.
Ran a stretch and left tackle for Abilene Christian. Just got beat by that really good defensive end up there on top, so great job stuffing the line of scrimmage for Stephen F. Austin defense.
And the Lumberjacks looking for something like a takeaway. Dudley goes in motion. Earl lets him plant. 2nd down and long. It's a give again to Vaughn, and they are content to keep pounding it. Inside the 20 he goes, a gain of about 5. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Yeah, I think that helps Vaughn Jordan when they do a little delay. It turns into zone blocking, but he's hesitating till the quarterback gets to him, and then he's able to see. He's got more space to see the hole. Done a really nice job these last 3 or 4 times he's carried.
Vaughn tonight with 11 carries for 50 yards. SFA really needs to stop here, and ACU
Timeout.
Is not going to get this play off. A timeout taken by SFA.
1st yard timeout.
Which I think
FSA.
signifies how important this play is. Stephen F. Austin down 7, trying to keep that deficit right there.
I think ACU will be talking.
All right, after the timeout by Stephen F. Austin, a 3rd down and 5 for ACU. Haven't been stopped since the 1st quarter. J.J. Henry goes in motion. Earl fires it, caught by Gibson. It's going to be a 1st down and goal at the 1. Javon Gibson with his 6th catch of the night, and Earl on the money again.
Yeah, maybe Stone Earl's best pass never mind, we got the next play coming right here.
Here we go, up-tempo. Earl gives to Vaughn, to the end zone. Touchdown ACU. Jordan Vaughn, again, the workhorse tonight, into the end zone for 6 more.
Simple zone, just bounced outside.
And ACU goes 63 yards in 9 plays after forcing that 3 and out from Stephen F. to start the 2nd half. 28 unanswered points for Abilene Christian. Brandon Perez, the new left-footed kicker for the Wildcats. True again. ACU on a roll, leading it, doubling up the Jacks.
Back, the Wildcats lead 28-14 here in the 3rd quarter. Taking a look at this story here, technology is changing the way FCS teams prepare and adjust on game day. In-helmet radio communication is something new for the Wildcats and the Lumberjacks this season. This change allows coaches to talk directly to quarterbacks, Stone Earl and SFA quarterback, until 15 seconds on the play clock. Following their first game at Tulsa, Coach Keith Patterson noted this change is a big adjustment for both Stone and the coaching staff. The SFA coaches have told me this is a big adjustment for them as well. So hopefully in game 2, this change is a little bit more manageable. Grant, back up to you.
Daisy, thanks. Would you have liked to have had Ted sitting in your ear, in your helmet, Coach?
He said positive things a few times.
Yeah.
And then a couple of times, just 2, I remember him yelling, "What are you doing?" And that was not a positive question.
You didn't even need it.
No, I knew the answer. I know I'm not doing very good.
You didn't need the technology. You could hear it all the way across the field.
Yeah.
Big drive here for Stephen F. Austin. Vidlac, pump fake, goes near sideline. It is almost intercepted, and that was Dorian Plumley who came flying in on Kylan Harris. And everything just looks off here for Stephen F. Austin when it looked so on at the first quarter.
It's incredible how Abilene Christian has shut down their running game, basically completely.
And you could see there Harris was running upfield. The ball had gone to the outside. And now 2nd down and 10. Just under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Vidlac dumps it off. Harris has it, immediately tackled. Rashawn Miles Jr. limits Harris to only 4. The drive summary brought to you by Hanner Chevrolet GMC. 9 plays, 63 yards, and the Jordan Vaughn touchdown. Hanner Chevrolet, just a short drive from Wildcat Stadium. 3rd down and 6. Vidlac only a couple of incompletions, but the 2 huge strip sacks. One led to a touchdown. The other was a touchdown for ACU. Play action. Time to throw. Near sideline, caught and dropped. And that's how it's gone since the first quarter, as Neighbors had to go off his chest. It would have been a 1st and 10. Instead, here comes the punt team once again for the Jacks.
Yeah, great throw by Vidlac. Just ended up being a 10-yard out because of nobody was open early, and it did bounce off the shoulder pads. That's not a good sound.
Well, you think about Abilene Christian had 4 drops in the first quarter. So it's been a game of self-inflicted wounds for both teams. ACU in the first quarter, Stephen F. Austin ever since. And now Stone Earl, number 4 on offense. And number 4 on defense, Tyson Williams, is back, hoping to cleanly field this punt. It is a beauty. And Williams is going to return it, and he's going to get it out to the 25-yard line. That's an 8-yard return.
Timeout on the field.
Off of a booming 54-yard punt. Abilene Christian, 28 straight points, and they've got the ball back.
For everyone, if you want to come and be a part of it, it's a great.
1st and 10 for ACU, and Stone Earl runs right, cuts upfield for about 2. 2nd down and 8. Really, this is something that ACU hasn't had, Coach, in a long time, and that is a quarterback who's a dual threat.
He is both, and he can run, and that was the old-time sweep, nearly a power sweep with the quarterback running.
ACU has not been stopped since the first quarter. Earl fires right side, and ball dropped. I think that's a loose ball, and Gibson is going to give it back to Stephen F. No, now
they say incomplete.
Here comes the field judge, I believe, to say
Ruling
incomplete.
on the field, incomplete pass.
It was a clear recovery. So let's see. The ruling's been changed.
3rd down.
I think 10 years, maybe 20 for sure, of that would have been a fumble.
Well, that was Kevin Quackenbush who came in. One more look here. Very close. I thought he had it. 3rd down and 8. Stephen F. Austin that close to their first takeaway of the season. They also had a dropped interception earlier in this game. Earl on the run, plants his feet, fires across his body. This one's caught. It's Dallas Dudley near midfield, and this one will stick. He caught one earlier that was called back because of a penalty, but Earl again right in the numbers.
Could be Stone Earl's best play of the game. Didn't have anybody open, kept moving, kept his eyes down the field, which really good quarterbacks do.
And again, Dudley, the son of a terrific tight end on the college level, the 9th-ranked player picked by the Raiders in the draft and had a terrific NFL career as well. And now Dallas Dudley transferring in here this year. It's a keeper from Earl, makes one man miss, and he's going to be hog-tied at the 46-yard line, but that is a solid gain of 6 from Earl, who was the leading rusher last week in the loss to Tulsa.
Yeah, that was a zone read all the way, kept the ball.
A dozen rushes tonight for Earl. It's a give this time, and Vaughn will get maybe a half yard. 3rd down and about 4 coming up. Colby Carthel was not happy and not quick to agree with me when I told him I thought his defense played well last week against Houston. He said, we didn't take the ball away. We didn't have the big impact play. And they've had chances for impact plays tonight. They've dropped an interception. There was a 50-50 call that went ACU's way a moment ago. They had a muffed punt by ACU that they couldn't bring in. Can they get an impact play here defensively? A flag is thrown, and that's going to be ACU's first since the first quarter. False start.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty.
That's George French, the second. Again, all new offensive line for ACU, and we've said it a couple of times. We'll probably say it a lot this year. One of the strengths of the Wildcats last year was their health through the team, but certainly on the offensive line, and they've jumped again. Everyone getting into the act. This time it's going to be Josiah Fogle. So now you go from 3rd down and 4,
false start.
3rd and 3,
Offense,
to 3rd and 13 with back-to-back
5-yard
false
penalty.
starts.
3rd down.
Boy, Abilene Christian has a really good offensive line coach who's very frustrated right now.
Nope. That offensive line coach was one of the best offensive linemen you'll ever see. For Auburn, Ryan Pugh, Remington Award winner, best center in the country. Now 3rd and long. Earl gives himself some extra time. Wide open Castles, and he dropped another one. I don't think he's dropped that many in 4 years at ACU. He's dropped 3 tonight, and that would have been a first down, and Castles is inconsolable.
Yeah, bad mechanics there. His head turned away. He started to run before he had the ball.
And Earl bought the extra time. And Castles, who came here from Texas Tech a couple of years ago, unable to bring that one in. And now Hugo Nash, who is not the greatest Wildcat performer in Melbourne. He's from that Australian city. But Bobby Morrow, ACU's sophomore in Melbourne in 1956, had 3 gold medals, the fastest man on earth. And now Bugs Mortimer, maybe not the fastest on earth, but quick. ACU's got Nash down on the ground, by the way.
There's a penalty flag thrown right there by him.
So flag thrown, and Nash is face down. If we can, there he is. There's Nash face down to the ground now, turning over. And we'll see if that's what the flag is about. ACU punting for the first time since the first quarter. And there's Nash, who is really one of the heartbeats of this team. He's kind of lovingly offbeat, charming in that way. Got the mullet going. Got here last year, and making sure he's okay. And we'll see what the flag is about and see if it involves him. Bugs Mortimer danced around a bit, jitterbugging.
Ball's going back
go.
from the
During the
20.
return, personal foul, blindside block, receiving team, number 81.
So that is another
Half the distance
personal
penalty.
foul
Be first down.
against Stephen F. Austin, and that's now 7 for 67 yards. And back it goes to the 10-yard line. And I can, Colby Carthel himself is as high energy head coaches, you'll find he wants his teams playing with high energy, but that's not
like that.
what he has in mind. And so here, after Stephen F. Austin gets its first stop since the first quarter, they now are backed up on their own 10-yard line. Vidlac tonight, 10 of 14, 114 yards. The 2 lost fumbles, one of them ending in a touchdown, the other that led to one. And from the 10, here we go. Caught by Kylan Harris. Never a bad idea to get a drive started. Gain of 9. And Harris, who's going to have well over 2,000 yards by the time his incredible career ends.
Good quick screen, great block.
Mark it at the 19, 2nd and 1. And Wembley is going to have a first down for Stephen F. Austin. And just a first down, coach, is welcome here for Stephen F.
Hadn't been there in a quarter or two.
There's an eternity left in this game, 20 plus minutes. Low snap, well fielded. Wembley stops on a dime, and he's got close to another first down. A touchdown here from Stephen F. Austin.
It's a new game.
And suddenly the game changes dramatically. It really does feel like whichever team can avoid hurting themselves has a chance. Pressure coming. Plumlee knocks down Vidlac. And that's a loss of a dozen. Dorian Plumlee, the safety. Preseason all-conference in the United Athletic Conference.
Boy, that was a classic blindside. We need another blitz from the right side, and the left tackle didn't have any back to help him. Couldn't get there.
Wembley exits the game, and so the center judge comes to give ACU a chance to make a substitution. 3rd down and 11. Vidlac, screen, no. Short of the first. Kagan Roach, the defensive lineman, out there in space to deny Richard Reese. And it's a 4th and 5 and a decision for Colby Carthel with 4:16 to go. I think he's made it. It's going to be the punt team. Maybe a little too early. And again, the repercussions significant if you don't get it. And ACU is almost already in field goal range, up 2 scores. And I think maybe what he saw perhaps from his defense on the last possession would give him some encouragement.
Yes, gave him hope, encouragement.
To be fair, ACU had 2 false starts in a row to give them a 3rd and 13, and then they had a dropped pass. That is a beautiful punt, fielded on his fanny by Tyson Williams, who said he got bumped, but I think there is a flag now, a late flag that just comes in, and Tyson Williams may have made his point to the back judge.
I thought I saw go right by him.
Sometimes,
and did touch him.
They'll give leeway if the receiving team may have created some of the contact. Take a look here.
Right.
No, there was certainly no help from ACU.
Interference with the opportunity to catch a kick. Kicking team
That's
number
5
25.
personal fouls now against Stephen F. Austin.
15-yard penalty added to the end of the kick. Be first down.
8 for 77.
Abilene Christian.
And so you've got the 1 that moved them back to the 10, remember, on offense. And now this one moves the ball out to the 43.
And I do think on that one, I'm watching Coach Carthel. He was disagreeing with the call. It was close, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was not a lot of contact.
No.
And now 1st and 10. Stone Earl has been exceptional tonight. He's going to screen this one out to Jordan Vaughn. Got a good block by J.J. Henry. And so what would have been maybe no gain is going to be about 6.
Yeah, nice bubble screen to Jordan, just like a flare pass with 2 receivers blocking out wide.
J.J. Henry at 5'10", 160 was strong enough to give Vaughn room for an extra couple of yards. Jordan Vaughn tonight, now catching in addition to his 13 carries for 52 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Earl threads the needle and finds Gibson for another ACU first down in Lumberjack territory. That's the 7th catch for 85 yards now for Javon Gibson.
Didn't seem like a lot, but one of Stone's best throws tonight. Gibson was running a little option route, went in 6 steps and just stopped in the hole.
Think about this ACU team. Yes, Earl is returning, but it's been 4 years since he's been here. This is essentially a brand new offense. Jordan Vaughn, J.J. Henry, and Javon Gibson really the only significant minutes of guys returning. And now Dudley makes another catch.
And a brand new offensive coordinator.
All
on
5.
Top of that.
Yeah, new offensive coordinator in Graham Harrell, one of Texas Tech's all-time greats. And they're going to deny Dudley the first down there and say it was 9.5 instead of 10. Nearing the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. ACU, the only points of the second half. It's a handoff, running right, and that is going to be a first down, and that is LaJames White getting his first carry. A diminutive tailback who comes over from Kansas State. Started his collegiate career at Air Force from the Kansas City area. And he did not play after game 4 of last year because of an injury, but Coach Patterson loves the running back stable he has, led by Jordan Vaughn, who's back in there now, to the left of Stone Earl. 1st and 10 as the clock runs. ACU in control of the game. Stephen F. trying to get some of that control back and trying to control Jordan Vaughn, who just bullies his way to the 28-yard line for a gain of a really well-earned gain of 6.
Maybe Jordan Vaughn's best run of the night because of the patience we talked about, and stutter stepped and waited, cut back. It was an inside zone.
ACU now closing in on 300 total yards tonight. And Stephen F. Austin, which had 125 yards in the first quarter, has just 41 yards since as we near the end of the third. A give to Vaughn again, and Vaughn with another first down, maybe more, inside the 15. Jordan Vaughn, a gain of 16 yards as he nears the century mark.
ACU's offensive line the last 2 quarters had really started to dominate.
A man down for Stephen F. Austin. It's Tyler Hutcherson. 34 seconds to go in the third quarter, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 for ACU at the 12. And we've seen some wild things in this series through the years. Coach Patterson and Coach Carthel were reliving some of the memories over the last few years. Double overtime game. They played at the old ballpark in Arlington back in 2020 when both teams were members of the WAC. Ended with Coach Carthel ripping his shirt off to celebrate a rather odd conference title in that COVID year in which only a few teams played.
I took a picture of that, at least in my mind. I was there. It was funny. He deserved it.
1st and 10 at the 12. And opportunities in this third quarter for Stephen F. Austin to regain a bit of their equilibrium. And now ACU's just going to let the third quarter clock expire. More time on the play clock than on the game clock, and ACU is happy to head to the fourth quarter.
This is the end of
the only
quarter.
Points of the third quarter from ACU, a Jordan Vaughn touchdown. They've extended their lead to 28-14. Back for the final 15 minutes, maybe more, who knows, from Abilene when we come back. Well, this is what they were hoping for at Wildcat Stadium. Chance to celebrate. First game that ACU has played at home since a 24-0 shutout victory of Northern Arizona in a first-round FCS playoff game. First time ACU had made the FCS playoffs. They won it going away. Now tonight, 28 unanswered points. We got a flag. And we'll have to wait for that fourth quarter to start once again. False start against ACU.
False start.
Grant Boone, Jim Reese,
Offense,
Daisy Strine,
number 77.
and our entire team.
Five-yard
Glad to have
penalty.
you with us here
First down.
from Wildcat Stadium. For ACU, how about this? You start on the road at Tulsa of the American Conference, FBS. You come home to face a team that was best in their conference, Stephen F., in scoring and points allowed last year. Then you go to TCU, and Sonny Dykes, after preparing for Bill Belichick, gets ready for Keith Patterson and the Wildcats. A toss to Vaughn, and stays on his feet for about 6. And then ACU comes home to play Austin Peay, which only beat Middle Tennessee last week, FBS, and today went toe-to-toe between the hedges at Georgia and only lost 28-6. I know there are no moral victories, but 28-6 against the mighty Bulldogs is impressive. And then ACU goes on the road to play the team picked to win the Southland again this year, Incarnate Word. So a murderer's row. Second down and 8. And again, it's Vaughn. ACU's had years in which they've gone running back by committee, but tonight it's been a commitment to give the ball to Jordan Vaughn, and he has responded with a couple of touchdowns. That was his 18th carry for about 85 yards. Third down here. Points will make things very difficult for Stephen F. Austin. They could use a takeaway in the worst way. Third down at about 7. Earl drops back against a 4-man rush. Out in the flat, who else? Vaughn. Shy of the first down. Gain of 4. And now ACU can make this can make this a 3-possession game. Brandon Perez is coming out with Kyler Meskey. Meskey will hold for Perez from the right hash. Meskey missed from long range. And Perez has been the extra point kicker, and this is effectively along those lines. A 23-yard attempt to make it a 17-point lead. Good snap, good hold. And the kick, I think, may have been blocked. Was it deflected?
I didn't see a deflection. I think he just missed it. Let's look at it again.
It is a huge stop for Stephen F. Austin. They'll take over in a moment. Under a near full moon. It's been that kind of a night, a weird night, and Jarrell Wembley lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. A missed chip shot by ACU has kept this a 2-score game with 12:45 to go. Stephen F. Austin still has some life here. They're going to need some chunk plays and maybe some big chunks. Here's Vidlak. And there's a good guy to get it done, but Kylan Harris, he gets yanked down, and I think that was Rashawn Miles Jr. against one of the best receivers in FCS.
Much faster and quicker than him, and he still got him down.
So it's a 4-yard gain, 3rd down and 6. Both of these teams with new kicking units, it's been an issue. Wide open Wembley, he's going to have the first down as ACU lost him. Near sideline, he's out across the 35, near the 40 before they mark him out.
Wow, that was a free release by the tailback, and nobody followed him. He was that was busted coverage for sure for Abilene Christian.
And great effort to stay in bounds for an extra 5 yards from Wembley. New life, caught, out of bounds goes Blaine Green, knocked out by Tyson Williams. Gain of 5. Clock will stop while they move the ball, then they'll start it again. It stays stopped until the last 2 minutes. The player goes out of bounds with the ball. 2nd and 5 from their own 45, and it's a give. And this is Wembley again. Well, he's been a terrific player for a long time. Wembley has rushed for 1,600 plus yards over his time at Stephen F., the senior. And he'll get another chance here, and not much. Kagan Roach stops him for no gain. On the ACU side of the field, clock runs, under 11 minutes to go. Next score in this game, if there is one, will a dramatic impact on it.
That's right.
ACU had a chance to make it a 3-possession lead. A missed field goal by Brandon Perez. Reese goes in motion. Vidlak fires. And another sure tackle in the open field by Miles on Derek Bowler. Gives Stephen F. a 3rd down at about 5.5.
Hurry up.
They bunch everybody. And it's a give to Reese. Cuts to the outside. And a flag comes in as he's knocked out of bounds
It's going to be a hold
by Jocelyn Malaska. And you got 4th and about 3 or 2. Or else it's going to be 3rd down and much longer. And ACU is going to take that penalty, I would imagine. Keith Patterson says.
Left tackle Robert
Holding.
Keller. I think, just
Offense
got
number
caught.
71. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, and understandably cautious of Chris Wright, preseason all-conference selection. So Chris Wright, who had the fumble recovery, Kagan Roach, who had the fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown, and Will Schaefer tonight have all been active, and each was challenged by Keith Patterson after last week's loss at Tulsa. He said, last year you were poor and hungry. What happens when you go to the playoffs and you get picked on all those fancy teams? Can you still play poor and hungry? They have tonight. Vidlak retreats, rolls to his left, fires, good catch by Harris, very close to a 1st down. I think it's 4th and inches, or is it a 1st? It is 4th down, less than a yard, and you got to go for it if you're Stephen F. Austin.
Got to go for it.
Harris, who had just 1 catch last week, has 8 tonight. Timeout taken by Stephen F. Austin. Keith Patterson not happy. And 4th
First
down.
yard timeout of the half. Abilene Christian. Timeout on the field.
Did ACU call the timeout? Okay. 4th down and a yard. If Stephen F. is going to rally here, it's got to start right now.
Yeah, you could think maybe play action and try to really deceive them.
Early touch of autumn here in West Texas. We've had some home openers in Abilene, temperatures in triple digits. Tonight, just gorgeous, 75 degrees. Sam Vidlak is trying to lead his team back. He was the newcomer of the year in the Southland Conference last year until he went out against Nichols with 3 games to go. Stephen F. Austin lost the next 2 games to really cost them a chance to make the FCS playoffs for the first time since 2021. Now Vidlak, who led his team to a 14-0 start here in the first quarter, has seen Abilene Christian come back. He's lost a couple of fumbles, but he has been efficient tonight, 17 of 21. It's a 4th and 1. And waiting for play to resume. And a reminder, level up for the best experience on the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Link it to your account. Thousands of games and fun to watch today with a 7 o'clock start here in Abilene. Watching some of the action from around the country. So now, 4th down, you figure must make for Stephen F. Austin. Here are the next 5 games. They get to go home for the first time. They'll play Sul Ross State, which is now part of the Lone Star Conference in Division II. They'll get Cal Poly from the Big Sky Conference, and then Southland Conference play begins. Here we go. It's a keeper, and it's Blaine Green. He's got a 1st down. Running the Wildcat, which worked for a touchdown in the first quarter from Jordan Neighbors. Gives them a 1st down here, the ACU 37. Now time of the essence, play action. Vidlak down the middle, it is caught. I'm not sure that was the intended receiver, but
not
Derek
either.
Bowler caught it. Second catch of the drive.
I think he was throwing to the inside guy running a seam.
It was Ademo, the tight end, who was also in that area. First and 10 at the 21.5. Over the middle pass, too wide of Bowler. And that'll stop things for the moment. Second down and 10. So again, with plenty of time, 9:05 to go. Stephen F. Austin, their best opportunity since the first quarter.
Yeah, and if you're ACU, you're thinking that a field goal attempt is a big victory.
At this point, you feel like Stephen F. Austin's in 4-down territory. Deflected. Kagan Roach got his hands on it. And it brings up a 3rd down and 10.
Maybe his best play of the game. That was important. I had a dragger and somebody in the flat. Both of them were open.
One more look at it here. Roach couldn't get home, so he gets the hands up. That's how he made the interception against North Dakota State's Cam Miller last year up in the Fargo Dome. Just leapt in the air, and it stuck that day. Roach with a fumble recovery for a touchdown tonight. One of ACU's 4 scores. Pass over the middle, short of the first down. Schaefer is going to bring down Blaine Green, and now again a 4th down opportunity for Stephen F. Austin. And they're going to go for it. Got to get to the ACU 11. It's a Wildcat again. Wembley close. Here comes the scrum. He's got it.
I believe he got it.
Stopped right at the line to gain, but the pile pushed forward, and Wembley earns that one. 1st and goal for Stephen F. Austin. And the hope of it all still there for the Lumberjacks. Pistol formation. Now in motion goes Wembley. Over the middle, caught and dropped. Big hit from Schaefer on Bowler, and a 2nd and goal coming up.
Yeah, looks like he should have caught it. Was open, basically a slant, and maybe heard footsteps.
Well, he did get whacked across the chest. So Schaefer, along with Roach and Chris Wright, responding to their coach's admonition on Sunday watching film. Play poor and hungry. ACU hungry for their first win of the year. Both teams are. Wembley nowhere, and there's Wright again. And Rashawn Miles Jr. was in the middle of it again. 3rd and goal.
Yeah, we've been calling their names a lot. I think Stephen F. thought they would catch Abilene Christian's defense asleep and ran the inside zone.
Again, all but certainly 4-down territory. Midway through the 4th quarter, trailing by 14. 3rd and goal. Pressure coming. Vidlak on the run. Lobs it to no one in particular just to get rid of it. I don't think it would be grounding. There would be enough, probably traffic, I think.
Yeah, but there weren't many white jerseys around, were there?
One more look here. It's not the typical grounding because he throws it middle of the field. Really no one around there. No flag. So here we go. They've converted 2 4th downs on this drive, and Wright was in the middle of it again. So here comes maybe the last chance for Stephen F. Austin. 4th and goal. 2 receivers to each side. Wembley the tailback. ACU sends 4. Vidlak fires wide. Incomplete. Turnover on downs. And ACU may have calmed the storm.
Yeah, Vidlak had, I think the split end up top was running a deep crossing route the back of the end zone. I think he just missed him. He's had some great passes tonight. That's one that got away.
Well, Schaefer did get a little piece there of, I think, maybe Kylan Harris. But no flag, and ACU takes over. They had a chance to perhaps put the game away with a field goal on their last drive. Now they take over inside the 10. They have not turned the ball over tonight. It's a give to Vaughn. And he'll have a modest gain. Last year, ACU did almost the impossible. They got 2 rounds deep into the FCS playoffs. They won a conference title while being one of the worst teams in college football in turnover margin. They were -8 and yet made it to the second round up against the eventual national champions. Keith Patterson would be happy to never be in that position again. And tonight has not been perfection. Jed Castles, normally sure-handed, part of a half dozen drops by the Wildcat receivers. It's a keeper from Earl. Ball in the left hand. He's back to the line of scrimmage. And now you got a third down and almost 10 with the clock running, 6.5 minutes to go. There are worse things, I would think, Coach, than running the ball and punting it if you're ACU.
Right, so ran a quarterback draw against a 6-man blitz for Stephen F. Austin, so good call by that defensive coordinator.
I will say this, Hugo Nash is on the sidelines, the punter, with his arm in a sling.
Another false start.
And that means, as ACU will back up again, that ACU will have someone else punt it besides Hugo. Which, as we
false start, offense, number 59, 5-yard penalty, third down.
It's Landon Roten along with his brother Luke. They've come in from Washington State, natives of Tomball, Texas. You got third down and 14. Earl from his goal line wants to throw over the middle, and it is caught by Henry, and that's a first down.
Wow.
J.J. Henry, tempting fate, Coach.
The throw and the catch of the game for Abilene Christian. He was not open, didn't have a way to get it.
You're up by 14 and just lobs it over Reddick. And now Earl, again, downfield wide open. Castle secures this one across midfield. And ACU is on the precipice of their first victory of the season. How about from their own end zone, up 14, throwing it into traffic.
And that was a great call by Graham Harrell. It faked the quick screen to the right. Castles was moving down the sideline. Nobody around him. Nobody.
So now at the 39-yard line, 1st and 10. So from their own goal line, ACU has brought it out. It's a toss. Vaughn, a race to the sideline, and a late love tap after a gain of about 5. Jordan Vaughn tonight, 20 carries for a 89 yards.
Yeah, they've all been tough. Really, really great job of holding on to the ball. Big plays.
Second down at about 4.5. Clock running with 4.5 minutes to play. In motion goes Grant Jones. Handoff up the middle. Vaughn churning. Might have a yard. I mean, he's been a battering ram tonight.
He has, yeah. That was one of the times, probably should have waited and kept his eyes up, but it's tough to tell him to do that. He's such a tough runner.
E.J. Wilson checks in. He's played for a couple of other Division I schools on the FBS level, Florida International and Temple. First year here at ACU, and he's gotten a couple of carries tonight. Third down and 4. Castles in motion. Earl's been efficient, going to keep this one. And the ball's loose. And who's got it? Earl put it on the ground. No indication yet. ACU says they've got it. Stephen F. says, no, we do. They pull everybody off the pile. Javon Gibson says it's ACU ball. Jeremy Tate to get everyone away. I think it is going to be ACU ball.
We need a call from the referees here to tell everybody.
It is Stephen F. ball.
Ruling on the field is a fumble.
Well,
recovered by the defense.
Stone Earl,
His first
this
down.
mars what
SFA.
has otherwise been a near flawless game for him. And it does keep Stephen F.
In the
Austin
game.
ever so slightly
Yeah.
after being denied on a 4th and goal. Earl fumbles
Timeout on the field.
after ACU was daring from its own goal line. Can't quite put this one to bed. There's the team bringing you all the pictures, the sights, and the sounds, led by producer Hutton Harris with his trademark calm. And how about Hutton Harris playing hurt tonight? Way to go. 1st and 10 from their own 32 after the takeaway. Slant caught and dropped. Well, Coach, it's 28-14. It's who can make the fewest mistakes.
Yeah, there have
right?
been 2 good quarters if you're ACU, and then neither team has played particularly well in the 4th quarter.
One great quarter from Stephen F. Austin, the first, but since then, not much. 2nd and 10 from their own 32. Vidlac finds Kylan Harris very close to a first. For Harris, that is his 8th catch, and it should put him over 100 yards, which is what he does. It'll be his 9th 100-yard receiving game of his outstanding career. Native of Reserve, Louisiana. This is a veteran Stephen F. team, a lot of homegrown guys. Yes, some terrific transfers in the portal. 3rd down and short. It's a give to Wembley, and he's going to have the first down. Now, again, this is the new couple of years of this in college football. Every first down does not stop the clock, only within the final 2 minutes.
That's right.
So the clock keeps moving. 3 minutes to play, down 14. They got to have big chunks in a hurry. Caught, but in the field of play and wrapped up. It's Bugs Mortimer, gain of about 4. And ACU would be happy to keep, I would imagine, right, everything in front of them?
Especially corners on really fast split ends.
ACU's got a true freshman, Christian Oku, left corner. Vidlac, they're going to test him, and it is caught, and that's a first down. Wayland brought it in. Clayton Wayland, South Lake Carroll, dragging his feet.
That was a great catch, one of the best catches of the night.
And so the clock continues to move. Remember, it won't stop when you go out of bounds for good until you're under 2 minutes. Another quick throw to Harris. Out in the open field, and again, a good stop. And again, it's Rashawn Miles Jr. 2nd and 5, and that takes us to the 2-minute timeout.
This is the 2-minute timeout. Timeout on the field.
14 points on their first 2 possessions. Stephen F. Austin needs 14 more, at least, to tie this game. 2 minutes to play, and Stephen F. Austin needs a big country miracle. From the 37-yard line of Abilene Christian, trailing by 14. And Sam Vidlac hoping to conjure up some late magic. Flag, 2 flags come in as he just chucks it away.
In the holding area, let's see.
Kagan Roach followed Vidlac out of bounds. Didn't see a flag over there because of that. And let's see what the call is. Jeremy Tate. It was either something so egregious that both officials threw it.
Fouls by both teams on the play. Holding offense, number 55, personal foul, face mask, defense number 90. Those fouls will offset.
So Roach is called for the face mask.
Second down.
Not the push out of bounds, but a face mask
That's
earlier.
right.
So
yeah.
Let's do it again at 2nd and 5. 5 seconds ticked off the clock, and every 5 seconds counts. All right, from the 37 of ACU, they're going to have to score a touchdown, get an onside kick, and score again. First things first, Vidlak squares his body, throws back across, and he's got Green again. Now the clock will stop while they get the chains moved because we're inside 2 minutes. And now the clock will start again. 1:47 into the end zone. Wayland can't bring it in. And it's the freshman Oku defending.
Boy, great play for a freshman. Just good idea for Stephen F. Austin to take a shot into the end zone on a back shoulder fade route.
Stops the clock with 1:42 to go. There's Oku from Carl Albert High School in Midwest City, Oklahoma. 2nd and 10. They got to score. They got to do it in a hurry. Over the middle, off the helmet of Rashawn Miles Jr. He's been everywhere.
And he's covering some receivers that are a lot faster than him. Been in position every time.
Second-year player for the Wildcats. Special teams mostly last year. Now thrust into a starting role. And he's thriving. Led the team in tackles last week against Tulsa. And a terrific game tonight. 3rd down and 10. Low snap, Vidlak. Over the middle, dropped.
Well, there have been lots of those on both teams, just trying to hurry it too much. Their head turns away and they just miss it.
Bugs Mortimer couldn't bring it in. And now another must-make play for Stephen F. Austin. This, I think we can say with some certainty, is the game. Convert, you got a shot. They can get a first down at the 5-yard line. Vidlak fires right side, knocked away, intercepted by Miles. Contact with the receiver, and Miles finishes off a brilliant night with a takeaway.
You may have seen the number of the safety that made a great play that got there right as the ball and the receiver were about to catch it and score. So, wow.
Plumlee, as usual.
How about that?
Dorian Plumlee, the leader of this defense, defensive backfield, takes the 3rd turnover for ACU's defense into the hands of Rashawn Miles. A couple of fumble recoveries, one of them. So that end zone's been very good for ACU. They recovered a fumble in that end zone for a touchdown.
That one.
And then they take one away.
South side.
And now ACU can just take a couple of knees. Stone Earl in his return to Wildcat Stadium. It's going to be a winner. They don't take a knee yet. I'm going to give another shot to Jordan Vaughn.
Second charge, timeout of the half.
I think we've got
SFA,
a timeout.
30 seconds.
From Colby Carthel. Take a look, as we said earlier, just an absolute gauntlet. Again, you start at Tulsa, the FBS American Conference, tonight against a tough SFA team. At TCU, which blew the doors off Bill Belichick and ruined his debut at North Carolina. Austin Peay, which beat an FBS opponent last week and took Georgia 4 quarters today. And then down to San Antonio to play the preseason Southland favorites, Incarnate Word. Home for North Alabama, and then at West Georgia. So conference play begins with Austin Peay. And of course, as you may have heard, over the summer, the UAC is expanding next year. Starting next summer, you're going to have those 5 football playing schools from the Atlantic Sun. Austin Peay, Central Arkansas, Eastern Kentucky, North Alabama, and West Georgia join ACU and Tarleton State. And then basketball, UT Arlington. That'll be the new UAC. Handoff to Vaughn. And throw another few cubes into that ice bath for Jordan Vaughn tonight. What a night for him.
30 seconds.
He has taken some punishment. Coach, I think he's given some as well.
He has. Just been really impressive with the power, his ability to break tackles, see holes. He's got great acceleration. You would not think he would be that quick, tall, big, kind of like a linebacker, but has found a way to really become the best running back at this point of the year for Abilene Christian.
This is one of 3 games featuring Southland Conference teams and United Athletic Conference teams. And it looks like the UAC is going to go 3-0. West Georgia went down to Thibodaux, Louisiana, and beat up on Nichols 34-10. And Eastern Kentucky has beaten Houston Christian 20-10. 3rd down and 11-ish. And again, a handoff to Vaughn. This is hurting his yards per carry total, but it's going to be his 23rd carry of the night. And for a guy who has all the talent in the world, but who last year ran the ball just 19 times, tonight he surpasses that in one game.
Wow.
3rd season with the Wildcats, and now,
yeah, ACU can get the clock down to about 30 to 35 seconds.
And this, as we said, is not Hugo Nash, who was hurt earlier. It is Brandon Perez punting it away. Here comes Mortimer running left, cuts it inside. Nice move. And a chance. Mortimer to the house. It's not over yet.
Wow.
20 seconds to play. Backup punter and a brilliant return. And Stephen F. Austin has its first point since the first quarter. And they'll have, at the very least, a puncher's chance.
An onside kick chance. It looked like the defense for ACU was pretty much stopped, like they weren't trying. Wow.
So here again, Mortimer kind of paused a bit, almost like he had fair caught it, and then took off. And now they're going to go for 2. And they're going to force ACU, I think, to take a timeout. They are.
Second charge timeout of the half.
And so here's a little bit of the Colby Carthel swagger. Let's go for 2, get within 6,
and try to beat them
with the expectation that you're going to get the. I love it. It's
yeah,
very Colby,
that
on
is
brand.
Classic Colby.
And
sure
I love
is.
it. You got to love it as a Stephen F. fan. This is not over. It's a rivalry that has seen some of the wildest games ever. As we said, double overtime, some late comebacks. The very first meeting, 57-50. A game that saw Wilbert Montgomery score 6 touchdowns as a freshman. And now Keith Patterson is telling his team, put this thing away, end it. It's been a game of some nice plays by each team on offense and certainly defensively. But to me, Coach, we've talked about it all night, it's been the self-inflicted struggles that really have dominated a lot of this game.
For both teams. And the thing that's coming out here in the fourth quarter when some teams and fans would say it's done is all of us that know Colby Carthel know it's never done.
No.
He is not going to quit. He's going to try to find a way.
Colby, his 7th season as the head coach at Stephen F. Austin. He won a national championship in East Texas on the Division II level at what was then Texas A&M Commerce, now East Texas A&M. So Vidlac goes empty here after the punt return from Mortimer. They'll try to make this a 6-point game. Vidlak fires and caught but out of bounds.
Great catch, but he was a yard out of bounds.
Wayland, but at the end of the day, it comes down to this next
onside
play.
kick.
Should they recover, and they are out of timeouts, should they recover, it would be, you know, roughly midfield, you'd think. And then they'd have a chance, maybe a couple of plays. Then they'd need to get the touchdown and the two-point conversion.
Now wearing number 74. Number 14.
But you go for the two-point conversion here.
We're now wearing number 74.
Telling yourself now you know what you need to do.
That's right.
If you get the ball back. So here comes ACU's hands team. It includes Will Schaefer, Jed Castles, Hut Graham is out there, Dallas Dudley. Got Nathan Jones, grandson of national championship winning coach DeWitt Jones, whose dad Jay also played at ACU. He's out there as well. And here we go. Carlos Alvarado. Try to put the voodoo on it. 20 seconds to play. It's going to go 10 yards, and it's fielded cleanly by Jocelyn Malaska.
Really a good onside kick with a high bounce that you coach.
J.B. Mitchell the third. Let me correct myself. That was J.B., the offensive number 5. And there is a flag thrown.
Offside. Kicking team number 41.
But it was offsides against Stephen F. Austin. So with one clean exchange, ACU will finally put this game to rest. And they'll take the 27th meeting and get within one all-time in the season, in the all-time series.
It's going to be a 3-hour game. It feels like the fourth quarter lasted 2 of the 3 hours.
And Keith Patterson, who's resurrected this program, taking it to heights they've never been on the FCS level. And that'll do it. Stone Earl, a winner in his return to his first love, his first school.
First of many, but it is his first love.
And Abilene Christian knocks off Stephen F. Austin in a wild one in Abilene, 28-20. Stephen F. Austin, 14 points in the first quarter to take the lead, 28 unanswered for ACU. And then that last gasp punt return touchdown by Bugs Mortimer for Stephen F. Austin gives them one last chance.
I think if you and I were being objective, we would say after the first quarter and Stephen F. had basically dominated, the game looked like it was over. And just an incredible turnaround and a total change of climate and personality. Absolutely crazy.
Well, and it's a huge win for ACU with, you saw that schedule coming up. At TCU next week, home for Austin Peay, which looks completely different this year. And then on the road to play Incarnate Word. It's a tough start to the season, a much needed victory for the purple and white in Abilene. And the white and purple from Stephen F. Austin will head back to Nacogdoches tonight with a lot of things to be excited about and some concerns as well. And I think that would go for Keith Patterson at ACU as well.
Absolutely.
Final score from Abilene, ACU 28, Stephen F. Austin 20. We're going to head down to the field here. Daisy Strine is with one of the stars of the game for Abilene Christian.
Hey, home opener, first win. How you feeling?
feel amazing. I gotta give all glory to God. I'm just thankful to be back playing, and I'm just so proud of this team for finishing the game the way we did.
Last week you had 50 rushing yards against Tulsa. This week you nearly doubled it, almost 100 rushing yards for you. How does it feel to make that much progress in week 2?
Just a testament to how we practice during the week, my old linemen, and just progressing as a team. We're going to get better as the season goes, and I'm just so thankful. I'm so proud of this team. I don't know what to say right now.
And next week you got TCU, so how are you going to take this win, carry it into next week?
We're going to celebrate this 24-hour mindset. We're going to scrap it, learn from it, watch film, and focus on the next opponent, and we're going to give it our all.
Well, congratulations on a big win, and Zion, will send it over to you at the desk.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Daisy. Well, hey, everybody, the final score 28-20. Roman, what'd you see? The Wildcats got their first win today.
Yeah, not a pretty second half for really either team there, but it was SFA trying to battle back, climb into the game, and ACU just continually shutting that door, trying to push it close. Eventually they do a little bit closer with that punt return touchdown. Not exactly what Keith Patterson and his team would like. He always says the most difficult lead, or the worst lead in football, is a 2-score lead. They had 14 points on the board ahead of the Jacks. That second half was pretty close.
Well, as we look at our final stats here today, one thing that we seen was the Wildcats offense went lights out today. It was amazing to see. Last year we heard Coach Keith Patterson say Nehemiah Martinez was the new bowling ball of Butcher Knights. Today we see Vaughn. What'd you see from him?
Yeah, Vaughn was fantastic. The whole rushing offense as a whole really just knew what their jobs were, and they went out and executed, did exactly what they were asked, because that's what Coach Keith Patterson said after last week. The execution wasn't there. That Tulsa loss, not one that you want to have early in the year, but they executed well. Jordan Vaughn, a dynamic guy who can run for some speed on the outside or shoot through the middle with some power, was great tonight.
Well, hey, one last thing. ACU, they face off against TCU next. Last time they went against a Big 12 opponent, they put up 51 big ones. What are you expecting in this game?
You know, if TCU doesn't have a rushing defense that's going to stand this offensive line, look out. They might cause some issues. Stone Earl dynamic in that option. Jordan Vaughn's great. It's a deep running back stable. You never know what could happen, but it's a big one for the Wildcats on the road.
Awesome. Well, that's it from us here down south on the end zone side. Grant, take us home, buddy.
Roman, thanks. A game that couldn't have started much worse for Abilene Christian. Couldn't have ended much better with a victory. The Wildcats improved to 1-1. Stephen F. Austin goes to 0-2. Thanks to everyone who made it possible. For Jim Reese, Daisy Strine, Roman, Zion, I'm Grant Boone. Good night from Abilene.